personally just super excited for the move. Anyone that we've talked to is uber excited for it. And, you know, can we go into the owner, Robert Palmer, a little bit, just like sort of his background?
Yeah,
and
he owns RP Funding, right? So he's
started off in lending, right?
Yeah,
like 20
he's still
years.
in it. Yeah, I mean, he owns RP Funding, right? Like,
here's what's interesting about him. Like the Compass CEO, I like for the most part because he's like a tech guy. He comes from the tech background, right?
He says a lot of good things.
EXP, he comes from straight real estate background, right?
Yep.
What I feel like has hindered EXP a bit is they don't have that tech component side.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of tech startup CEO sort of mentality that I think can bring a lot of benefit. What I like about Robert is he's literally the hybrid of both because he comes from the lending, and I like that he comes from the lending world because it's real estate. You know, he's worked with a ton of realtors, probably more so than someone just stuck in real estate.
Your lenders know more dirt and more complaints about where you're hanging your license as a realtor than your managing broker.
100% they do.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Agents are talking to their lenders significantly more than their managing broker, dude.
Well,
they know it all.
And he also comes from tech. So he's just straight up entrepreneur. LPT stands for Listing Power Tools, which was a company that he started with all of these like physical print and AI.
Well, he owns a print company.
Tech things.
So he was making all these things for his preferred agents that he does lending for. And at some point it grows and he's like, why am I not doing this as a brokerage? But just to back up a little bit, like you also can't turn a blind eye to the fact that he's a legitimate bona fide billionaire from RP Funding. Like he knows and LPT is still privately funded right now by him. 100% skin in the game. Falling on your own sword, like what better guy to follow? And like when this does go public, imagine everybody that has pre-IPO stock.
Dude, and that's massive because like when it's self-funded like that, you know, that's one of the issues that Compass ran into was, you know, it's all funded from elsewhere, right? So you've got all these investors to answer to, all of these like board members to answer to.
Well, and it's no disrespect to their CEO or anything else, right? Like seems like a great guy. I don't know. Like, but the question would arise of like, you know, have you ever built something on your own? Like, have you ever used have you built something like Robert Palmer has? Like, do you really have like that business experience of growing something and it's your money on the line? Or are you always playing with house money? You come in, you say a bunch of romantic stuff that sounds cool on the surface, but doesn't necessarily pan out. And this happens a lot, dude. This happens a lot with like, you know, like police work, you know, and like let's use a cliche one just to keep it lighthearted. Like, you got like like an armed suspect, right? Like they're robbing a bank or whatever, and someone, couldn't you just shot him in the leg? Couldn't you just shot the gun out of his hand?
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean? And it's like, they just don't, it's like, oh, golly. You know, and it gets, so it's like, there's certain things that can be said. It's like, in theory, it's like, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just pull my bow and arrow out and like shoot the arrow right through the little trigger guard of the pistol and just take it right out of his hand and pin it into the wall where no one can reach it?
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be fucking super sick, right? Like in theory, like you just wonder, like, especially with what's going on right now in the real estate market, it's like, are you saying a lot of things that are attractive or on the surface? Like, are you doing things that on the surface feel like cool, but is it pontification? Is it just theoretical? Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not shunning him. I'm just saying, I don't know, man. But you're curious when like these guys start making announcements or picking sides, and then Robert's not, because he can just identify this is not my fight.
Right.
And then you just wonder like certain poise and decisions from a guy that's built it, and it's his money, and he's built something that's huge. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, he's just got like that street experience, that combat experience per se, that like just, it's not the end all be all, but it does speak volume.
Yeah, it does. It does. And again, you know, coming from somewhere that's, you know, agent focused first because it's self-funded, and hey, if the agents aren't happy and successful, he's not successful, you know, versus.
Well, and dude, I felt like, you know, like not to cut you off, like over at EXP, like you got the alphas, right? Which is like 1,000 or more in your downline or whatever it may be. And like, they just started feeling like gatekeepers. It started to feel like those guys ran the show more than the CEO, whether they think that, like whether the CEO thinks that or not. That's how it felt. That's how they behaved. Some of them behaved inappropriately to me. Doesn't need to be spoken on a podcast. It's been voiced. It wasn't okay. It wasn't appropriate. And there's just patterns there. And you're like, oh, you guys tried to lean into the attraction model so heavy that you grew these entitled, you know, folks with large downlines that aren't in the game as far as real estate, that are just reliant upon this, that are millionaires
Right.
or whatever it may be, and cool. But at some point, it like took a mind of its own on,
Yep.
and now they run the show, and they're these gatekeepers, and just man, like no disrespect to anybody, but like it felt that, man, and it's
Mhm.
like it's like a hierarchy,
Mhm.
but because they're in the model themselves, it's like it's a hierarchy with their own agenda,
Right.
and then you're trying to like talk to corporate or whatever it may be, but like then you got these guys that are the ones that decide or have the influence, but these guys are in charge, and you're like, well, are you sure? Are you sure you're in charge? Because this is what I feel down here, though. This is what you know. It's like, oh yeah, we're in charge, but these guys influence them. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's interesting. So like where we're at now, like with LPT, it's like, yeah, are you gonna have people that make a lot of money off of rev share? Absolutely, and it's a great opportunity. But it's real estate first, and you're gonna have
Period.
significantly less alphas per se, right?
Yep.
In that.
Yeah.
So I feel like anytime you have an owner that's real estate focused first, agent focused first, that's how we feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anytime, like, oh, well, dude, aren't you going to make a little, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, stop. It's agents first, man.
Yeah.
And
Period.
it's crazy. Like, and by the way, base hits add up. If you think you're going to make a little less per agent if they decide to do the flat rate instead of the rev share, cool. Base hits win World Series. I'll just
Yes.
tell you,
Yep.
anytime you had a team win the home run, like when the Yankees like hit the most home runs in the regular season, that's not the year they won the World Series. That's not the years they won 5 World Series, right? Like, no, man, it was like manufactured runs, base hits, doing things the right way, playing for the right reasons, picking each other up. And that's how I feel about agent first. If we're taking care of each other and we're putting agents in a place to win, we're also going to retain a lot more agents.
100%.
So I don't care if you make a little bit more on that, but then they don't want to stay because they don't have enough options for themselves.
Yep.
And then you don't have the retention that you want.
Yep.
Now what?
Yep.
Right? So like, man, like the longevity, sustainability, and just feeling excited and happy about what you're putting agents in front of, man.
Yeah.
100%. When you have an owner that feels the same way, good.
Yep.
Good.
And also worth noting, we're going to be revamping our Legit Agents YouTube channel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's been I think frankly, like, Will and I, we've just been so, head down with our personal, agent coaching and things like that, and creating our systems and resources and all these things that we do still have and everything like that, that we haven't put a lot of focus on that channel because it's been so just direct agent. But now there's so much more to talk about being over here that I'm super excited to see our content going on that channel.
And listen, like, everyone can still win, regardless of where you go or who you're with. Like, you can still win, but people have to start understanding, like, don't bad talk things. Don't use names, like calling people mouthpieces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was directed at me, but I definitely spoke to that person
Mm-hmm.
about the same topic he was talking about. Maybe he was hearing it from a lot of different directions. But then, like, you just use, oh, hey, a bunch of mouthpieces online or saying that EXP and this. It's like, hey, man, don't say that, and stop saying that non-producers are the people that go to LPT. You're significantly incorrect. And per cap, you have more big teams over here now. Like, just, and here's the other thing. You don't have to say that. Like, you don't have to be a certain way to win.
Mm-hmm.
You can just lean into your model, like bad talking things. It just never looks good. And yeah, lately I've been kind of sticking up for us, because like, whether like we've had 2 changes. We had Berkshire, then we went to EXP, and then from EXP now we've transitioned to LPT. We never once did anything bad to a brokerage. We never once disrespected anybody. Anybody that's at EXP that wants to stay